So that's the stream going, and now it will give me a link. Maybe. Excellent connection. Okay, now give me a link. How do you get a link to the stream? Is it going to be that? No, or maybe that. Maybe just do a new, what do you call it, incognito tab, and should test it out. See if I can see my own stream. Where's incognito? There. Bam. It works. Yay. Okay, so I can shove that in Reddit, and maybe I'll get somebody watching me post. Woo. Okay, let's code, bro. Nothing in chat. So, where were we? We've got a model crate, and in that model crate is a row, which we'll go there now. And to go to okay, we are modeling this. So this is a definition. No, that's not the definition. Definition account here. This is, what do you call it? This is the documentation, which we've scraped. I've put it in a YAML file. These entries, like that, is called a row. Even though, yeah, there's 3 rows because it's actually 3 columns, but they're sideways. So this row happens to have a type, format, and example. And type is string, format is that, and the format I'm just going to put it in a doc comment for now. I'm not going to generate any actual format checking. So I'm generating a Rust struct for account ID in this example. But because there are so many variants of the row, like some of them just have a value and description, because the documentation is not beautiful. I mean, let's have a look, not endpoint, let's have a look at transaction, for example. Wow, yeah, I think it's funky dunky. I don't know. I'm trying to find an example that's funky dunky. Yeah, so they have some tables. These are not tables. Maybe order is what I want. It's going to be like ID, anything with ID in it. It's funky dunky order request. Order ID, there's one. It's just, okay, so this is the row, it's got a string. It's got a type, a format, and an example, like that, type, format, example. So we're basically turning those into Rust structs. And I'm trying to make all of these into less code. So I made this trait called easy row, and I'm implementing it for the row from the model crate. And I want to get the doc string, because format in this case is going to be a doc string. An example format and example put together is a doc string, which you can see here. Format example. If they just have an example, that's a doc string. And yeah, and if they have just a format, that's a doc string. And if they have a type, which is these really long things like that. Ooh, does the type have a doc string? Maybe I can. Let's have a look at that. Beep beep beep. Wow, can I even type? No, I can't. It just, okay, so it just has a type, which is a string. So that's even uselesser. I hope that I have these things in here, I guess. Oh, so there is literally, okay, there's a table, and the only entry in it is type. And I've got, okay, apart from all of that, I've got to turn the string type into a capital S, because they have a lowercase s. So anyway, we are generating this, so type has no doc string. Okay. Let's, so any table, we should be able to generate a Rust struct for it. Here we go, easy row, you've got a doc string, and we also need the same thing, but we need the type. Should I just call it r hash type? or should we call it type name or type string? We'll go with doc string, type string, and yeah, okay, why not? Returns the cross type. Just type or the value, I don't know, of the string in the table. So hard to write nice comments, isn't it? So we'll code that here, and I guess we'll do the same thing, match self. One automagic, please. Value description, the type is going to be string. It's going to be, are we going to make, yeah, we are going to make it. Okay, so we go let raw type name, in this case it's going to be string, and in this case it's going to be, formatted example, it's going to be that thing type, right? So we don't need the rest. And our hash type. I like how in Rust you can use keywords for type names. I mean, it's probably not a good practice, but it's better than Python where you can't even do it. Bam. Oh, that was easy. Okay, so we've got the raw type name. Do we just change the case? I've got a crate in here for changing case, I think. Rust format quote. I thought I did. There is a, okay, let's go to crates.io. Change case, capital letter, there it is. Transform a string between all of these cases, that's brilliant. Copy, and we're in the writer directory. Sweet potatoes, and let's go to the documentation for that. The RS change, not change kale, change case. Oh, I forgot to put my music on. Play music. I'll leave this on so that we can get chats. Yay, there are no chats. Okay. Wait, I'll make it so that I can get notifications. No. Can I pop this out or something? Pop out chat. Yeah, there we go. Then I can just minimize that. And I can size that, but I don't know the Pop OS commands for sizing. Alt Shift, is it Command Shift left? Command Shift right? Command right? Nope. Move, resize, super enter, and then shift. Okay, so you got super enter, shift right. So we'll have the code here and the chat there. Beautiful. So we're going to change it to Pascal case. Of course, now I actually need the docs. New pin chat. Okay. Oh, why did I mute it? So you literally go change case, Pascal case, and it just does it for you. So we go, okay, that's a what do you call it, a string reference. So we're going to say let, I mean, we don't even need that, we can just go, no, we go, okay, let type name equals change case. What am I doing? Type name equals change case, Pascal case. And it's literally like that. Done. That was easy. And that's it. I mean, it's not even going to be an option. because they all have a type, so we can get rid of option, which is handy. And we're going to turn it into an actual type name. So that is going to be, what is that thing called? Not quote. Turn it into a token stream. Model. Reload. Proc macro 2. Proc macro 2. Is there something like type name in there? Let me just bring this up. How do you? I know there's one called ident, right, for bringing in idents. Okay, let's look at token tree. I guess it is an ident. I don't know enough to know. If I've got to choose out of those options, it's an ident. Okay. There we go. Ident new span call site. I don't know where to get span from. Just remember it's line 46. And search for ident where I've used it before. Oh look, there we go. So here we just change value to type name, and there's not even a result because nothing can go wrong here. Can that go wrong? Nope. No results. Like I said, there's no results. That's brilliant. And there's no vec. Nice and simple. And then we can just get rid of that. Done. Just put it here. Okay, type string's a bad name. We've got to rename it to. Okay, let's save. I can't just go space rename. I'm gonna call it. I mean, it's literally type, so I'm gonna call it type. Rest type. Okay, and then the last thing we need is the identifier, the actual name. Call it type. Will change to name or label. Stop doing double thing. Label, and it's going to be the same. This is going to change. No result. No result. No option. No vec. Simple. And I put label here. So it's the same thing. We've got to match. Fill in the bits. Why is the LSP stopped working, man? Oh, it's having troubles. I've got to. I can't import tightened. How do I turn a ident into a token stream? That's a new question. You dot into and supports from ident. Because in the past, all we've done is we just literally got to go quote. Okay. Type name equals this. And then we just return quote. I don't know how to do it. Type name. I mean that gives you a arguments here are incorrect, and it goes consider borrowing. Fine, done. Then we don't. Okay, now we can get our fill match arms there, but here we had some issue. Non-software pattern, we did that. Save. So all of this we haven't done. Okay, so let's do this. So this will return either a label or there's no label, man. But then it has type, format, example. So why am I even doing label? Forget label. So that's literally it. There's a type and a docstring. And docstring is optional. And so yeah, that's nice and easy now. So what we would like now is a struct that gives you both of those. Let's just get rid of these. I think we just get rid of that whole thing. I'm not sure. Is that kosher? Nope. Okay. Don't need that. Looking good. Unused variable type. Okay, so this is gen row. This is a different thing. We're going to get rid of gen row, I think. Let's go up to gen definition. So instead of just creating the struct here, we can... Okay, we've got a whole vec. Okay, first we've got to make that easy row implemented for the vec of rows. Easy row for vec of row. And now we need an option. Oh no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Okay, go back to gen definition. So we need to create a struct. Let me go back and look at the docs. Beep, beep. Sorry for the giant brightness. We need to create a struct, and it's going to have just a type in it, and we'll merge that in. Okay, everything as a table is going to be like that, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let inner. We'll make it. It returns a result, right? So if you go, if there's more than one item in the row and the value. Okay, what type is value? Sorry, I need to get my head into shape. So value is going to be either a table or a struct or an empty. Okay, so we're gonna go and the value has a table. I'm going to return a vec voc open stream. Call it directly. Oh, why are you in the wrong place? Call it directly. Okay. So the whole thing is, if the value is a table, we don't need to generate a struct here, so we don't even need this code at all. We need this code here that I've commented out for no reason. Let's comment out that code. Match value. So if it's a table, we're going to go turn a value into a table. So in fact, we won't even have gen value because we'll just have rows. Okay, we're going to say if it's a table, if is equal to rows. If its length of 1 equals 1, then we can, I think I'll just do an easy row. We'll say let row equals rows dot next. First. Now it's going to be an option. Do I unwrap it? Because we already know that rows.len equals 1. But I don't want my code to crash. I don't want to use unwraps because I hate unwraps. can I destructure a vec? No. I mean, this is a reference, so why not, right? Can we get rid of the vec? And we can say, oh look, it's a single row. Can we do that? Is Rust magical enough to do that? Let's watch the explosions explode. It's got a vec, I needed that. Okay, we'll put rows, and then we can do a nested match, I guess. Match rows.as slice. If it's a single row, and we can even defect that, I guess it's going to be a. Then we're going to say something like anything else. We're going to say unreachable, but we're not going to say unreachable. We're going to go return error. Did I not import error? Not import error. Return error, message, format. We expected every kind of row, get all rows to have, all tables to have only one row. I mean, we could check the code to see if there's any tables with. This is the YAML that we generated from scraping the website. It's so non-complicated. I guess this is not a video for anyone. Authorization. See, that's the table. It's got one row. This is a table, and it's got headers in the schema. This is a table. It's got one row. This has got multiple rows. Okay. But it's an endpoint. It's not an okay, we need to go up for definitions. Table, one row. Table. This is the field. This is the struct. It's not the same. Value. Let's go yank path and go YQ. I can't even remember how to use YQ now. I don't even have a YQ. Okay, forget it. We're just going to assume in our code that all tables have one row. But this one doesn't. And then we'll dump the whole table in there. Why not? Okay, this one has something rows. And then we'll dump the whole table in there, which will be pretty print that, and we'll put in a rows.len. Right, that's beautiful. Okay. Match that, delete it. Expected result. Okay, gonna wrap it in an error to give me that. Nope. Error type. I've got to put into report. Dot into. Dot into report. And it doesn't have that, so we've got to import it from error stack. not our one, we want error stack into report. If I use our into report, ES into report. Because our into report, the error stack into report just turns it into error stack into report, but our into report changes the context to our error general. I guess it wouldn't hurt. I would like to go back out to explicitly say the error stack one. I don't know how to do that in Rust. Wow, cool. Qualify with error stack into report. Nice. That's what we want. It's going to be a long. Wow. Invalid, unmatched. It's got an extra thing. Cannot move out of rows. Because as slice doesn't move. Takes a reference, returns a reference. Okay, let's get rid of the unused imports to make the cut down on the old the noise. Unused variable name, try ignoring name, consider removing borrow. Okay. Okay, there's no more errors, it's just warnings. That's fancy. Okay, so if there is one row we want to turn into a Rust struct, and we need a function for that. Gen value kind of is it, but it's not really. When gen value is really what we're writing up there. So we don't need gen value. This is basically it. So let's go back to row, and we will generate the code right here with easy row, and we'll just basically say as Rust. Returns the Rust code for this row, and we will say we don't even need that. We'll just make it a pub. It's going to be a pub trait. That's going to be a internal. Everything's internal. Gen row generates the code for a table row from the documentation. I don't remember all these types of rows, but okay. So what we would return here is struct. We don't know the name, so we need the row and we need the original name and the description from gen definition. We need name and docstring. It's kind of merging these functions into one. Yeah, we'll just pass them in here. Okay, so now we can generate the struct from that. Like struct name equals okay, and then let struct docs, because we're going to copy that doc string into the struct doc string. We've already got it, we don't need anything else. So okay, if it's a value description, type is going to be string. Man, I've got so much extra code that I don't need. We're going to go, the doc string is going to be here. Let field doc string equals self.field. I forgot the name of it. Where's my easy row? Type. Self.docstring. We are from row.docstring. Okay. Let r hash type equals the other way around. Equals row.type. The entities return results. That means the result option. And the returns are just a token string. Okay. So we blow up the result, and then we can go unwrap or default, because we don't care if it's an empty string, it's an empty string. Then we go, we don't need description anymore. What is the value gonna be? I think that's like an example value. Let's look in here, value. It's not really helping because there's a billion values in here. Sorry. This isn't really helping. So let's look at the docs. If I have a table and it has the word value here, what does that mean? It's going to be hard to find. It's an enum. See, that table's an enum. It's got a value and description, and it's going to have multiple rows. So let's look for Monday in the data. There we have a table with multiple rows with a value and description. And that is going to be an enum. So my code is wrong. But I've got to simplify things and take a step back. So we want the row to be able, if it's anything simple, we want to be able to generate it. So it's going to return an option. Nope, it's going to return the whole thing. So if it's a value description, okay, we want generate for single row. I need to make my code beautiful and it's ugly. Take a step back. Take a step back. We need to go back to gender definition. So if it has a single row, we want to call something like gen single row. Then if it doesn't, we want to, if it's got anything else, rows, we're going to call gen rows. And that doesn't exist yet. Gen rows. Okay, so gen single row is here in the row sub module. All this easy row stuff we probably don't need anymore. because we're all going to do it all here. So if it's a value description is never going to be this gender single row. Single row. Or a table row. For a table row documentation where there is only one row in the documentation table. So value description is never gonna, should never appear in a single row. Single row tables. It is for enums. It is for enum tables. It is for tables that generate enums. So this is going to generate an error. I'm going to go. I think I've made a bail struct in my error. That would be easiest if I got a bail. I don't have a bail. But that would be really handy if I had a bail macro, but I don't. Okay. Fine, I'll just write the whole thing out. We've got to return error stack into report. Into report. Error. New. Error with a message. All my into report code is mainly for format. Okay, this should be a macro. I'm gonna make it my own bail macro. Stick it at the bottom here. Macro rules bail, and you will pass it a string and format args. I don't remember how to do bail macro rules now. I have to look it up. Bam, I just have the robot. Give me the Emperor macro rules for the Rust format macro. I don't know if that's the nice way to say it, because basically the input's going to be the same as the format macro, just the outputs are going to be different. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, none of the should I just go standard.rs format and then look at the code? I'll do that. Bam. That is it a macro? That's not what I wanted. Format args. Standard format. That's what we want. Args t blip. And we're just going to shove that into you know what, I need one for bail and one for not error. No, just do bail for now. BGL blip. Blip. We can use E into report because here it's imported as E into report. ES into report error stack. And then format, and we just basically pass all the args. I can't remember how to get the args out of it. I'll try. I think it's basically $arg star. Is that a real thing? That can all be shoved into one line. Unused. I'm gonna make an external macro. Maybe I already wrote this and it's in the lib. I've got a bail in here. Nope. Okay, we'll do a bail here. There's no macros here at all. How do you make it expose the macro to the rest of the crate? Error stack into report. It's going to say not used, but I think I can just use it. So if we go to row, where am I bailing? I can't remember where I'm bailing now. See, my code is so complicated. I gotta get it under control, man. Gen single row. Yeah, I was right. I was working on that. And we want to go here, bail. There's no okay. It's gonna be bail. Exactly that. Not going to be much sense to the user, but yank. We want to pass the content that got called. Okay. I was thinking of using the tracing instrument to make it appear there, but no, just type it in. For struct name, docstring, row. It's never going to get called because if it does get called, it's going to error for every single row, but of course that will just blow up. We're bailing and we're done, and we can delete all of this because there's no. I know it's like, where are you going to get bail from? I'm going to get it from import error stack bail. No, I want my bail, create bail. It's going to say something like you can't. I have to export it. It's gonna say something nice in here like, oh, you need to go export it. I don't know how to export it. Quit, maximize. Extern macro, no, I don't know what. In Rust, in the lib.rs of my crate, I have declared a macro. Macro rules, macro. How do I make it usable by the rest of my crate? I know roughly what I have to do, but I don't know the syntax. Did I get any chat people? Nope. Did I get any viewers? Oh, thank you, 2 viewers who came. Woo! It's nice to have people watching me struggle. And I mean, yeah, I'm sorry if it's not super entertaining. Macro export, that's what we want. Okay, shove it there. Bam. Cannot find value. Okay, why not? Let's maximize this. Let's get. We're getting there. We're making progress. So we've got the type. We've got the top string. There is no field name. We've got the struct name, which is there, and we got the docstring for the struct, which is that, and we got the docstring for the field, which is there. and we don't want, okay, we want to change this to not return a token string anymore. We just want to return a string. Yeah, we've got to return an actual string, and there's not going to be any errors, I imagine. So all of these can just go dot toString because it's simple as. That can just return a format. I'm simplifying the code finally. I feel happy about it. Can we remove that? That was a bad thing. What did I just do? Yep, that was a bad thing. Delete the block. Shove that up there. It's gonna say, oh no, you can't. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then all of these. Oh, it's got a none. We'll just return an empty string for that. That's fine. What's the best way to do it? String default. Select. I'll just go split dot toString. Other way, and save string. Thank you, automatic fixer. Docstring has an incompatible type. Because it doesn't match that, that's fine. We're going to fix that. I mean, we don't even need the whole trait. Let's just get rid of the trait. It's just an internal function. And instead of self, it becomes row. Row. I can't do that apparently. Row. Is there any more selves? Nope. Okay, this is going to be the same row. Row. I need to give it a type, which will be a row and row. Yep, you got it. Row. Thank you, compiler, for helping me. I mean, Rust Analyzer is the best. Like, the Rust Analyzer is one of the main things that makes Rust fantastic. Make it all pretty. Okay, so there's no docstring. We're going to get the docstring, and there's no unwrap or default. There's no question mark. It's just a string, and we're going to press the row in there. That's easy. And then we're going to call and type. We can rename and just say, get rid of the reserved keyword and say type name, and it is returning token stream. We can make it return an ident. That's the best way, because we can just use it then. Bam. Is it returning? Yep. Returns the type name. Type name of the field in to be generated by this row from row that comes from the documentation table. The HTML. I'm trying to be explicit and make it easy to read. HTML table. And the oanda documentation. It's so specific. Nice. Type name. Okay, so now type equals type name row. So we've got the field docstring, we've got the type name. So then we can create the beautiful docstring and say, my keyboard's gone into crazy mode. Let docstring equals format. We need the struct docstring. Okay, we're going to struct docstring split into lines. I'll just put Okay, we'll just put docstring. We'll see how it looks. We'll do a test anyway. And then a couple of, sorry for my jumping around, I just, too many shortcuts. empty strings, empty lines, and then the field docstring. That's beautiful. And then we're going to turn that into docstring equals pretty docstring. Pretty docstring. Does that return error in terms of results? We gotta arguments of the docs are incorrect. What do you need? The ampersand string? That's okay. We'll just borrow it. Sweet. Then we don't need this anymore. Do we? No, we don't. Except what happens now if you get a value description. If we go docstring, this is calling the docstring method. We'll rename this to struct docstring, and then this is actually supposed to be calling a docstring function up above. So that's gonna, I guess, whatever. If we get a value description, so if we're looking at this. Where's my actual oanda stuff? It's all gone. Oh, whatever. If you get, okay, so oanda account. I have a tab open with it. Okay, but not the. If we go with order definition. And there was something about Monday in there, but I forgot what it was. Anyway, if we get that, we're going to generate a. We're going to use the description as a docstring, and the type is going to be string, and the value is a field name, which will never be used. This will probably never be. You know, let's see what happens. We get crappy code. We get code won't compile, so should be happy, right? Okay. What is this? Why have I got a big error? That doesn't implement format display. What doesn't? Docstring. It's got to become struct docstring. You're trying to. Okay, fair enough. Good job, compiler. So all of this can go BAP, and we just generate our code now. We've got a struct. We got the docstring. I don't remember how to do a docstring. Because it's a vec of. I've got to search for where I've used quote before, or docstring before. Okay, got it in Rust files. Thank you. Search. I've deleted all the code where I was using it. I can't remember how to, because docstring is the vec of. Vec string is a vec of token stream. I need to render it in quote, but I can't remember how. But I asked the robot a while back, so I'll just. There it is. Bop. Thank you, robot. So that's the docstring. And then we got struct, and the struct name will be name, hash name, and we're just putting the type in here, hash type, and that's literally it. That's the whole output. Do you put a colon on the end? I don't know. I'm just gonna wrap that in a that. Okay. What's wrong now? Keyword type. Yeah, we're gonna have to rename that to type name. It's getting too complicated having keywords pressed into. Cannot find function gen row. Okay, that's fine because we're calling that other function which we just had, which is gen single row. Gen single row. It takes 3 arguments. We're not doing the surround anymore. So this will actually be this is the test. So it'll be good so we can actually see the code is generating. The name will be superstruct. And the docstring will be, this is a fine struct. And beautiful. So let's run that. Test gen row becomes test gen single row. And there's only, okay. Let's run it. Wow. Finally we get to see some output. No, we don't. It takes 3 arguments, gen definition. Okay, so we've got to go back to gen definition where it's called. And we've got to pass name and docstring in, that's easy. So just check there's no more errors here, just warnings, let's get rid of them. See a beautiful error message. Formatting lib line 30. An error occurred before was got expected identifier. And then it says formatting code to string token. This will be expected identifier. You got an identifier. Name, type name, they're all identified. Type name, what are you? An ident. Name, struct name. Ah, okay. Look, I should have put struct name because I've got to turn it into identifier. It was a tricky error, but we fixed it. Unexpected end of input. Okay, so maybe I do need to put a colon at the end. Okay, it worked. Is it generating beautiful code? It's generating. This is the fine struct. This is a very important field. That looks neat to me. That's really good. Yay. Are we going to test all the outputs, all the possible variants of row? No, we're not. Are we going to test anything like... I guess we'll just test that it contains superstruct. Certain code dot contains superstruct. Test still passes. It does. Great. Okay, let's do a git checkpoint here. Okay, can now render rows from a single row documentation tables. Push it up. So next, I'll go to gen. We should do a clippy and just clean up whatever we can. Unused variable, but we're sorting that because it's got a to do. Unused variable endpoint. Gen endpoint because it's all to do. Unused variable contents. Everything's to do. Pretty docstring is never used, but it is used because I literally call it. So I don't know what's up with that. Okay, gen client. So it's all. What's docstring? Why have I got? Oh, that's a different one. It's not used because the call the function that calls it is not used because nothing's used, only used in a test. definition, so there's something I can actually fix. Consider using vec instead. There's a main line 24. It's gonna just do it for me. Come on, Clippy. I thought it was gonna do it for me. Let mute mods equals vec error. Okay. This is like all the mods, all the modules that this is. We're gonna list of modules. This generates the lib, the main function of the code for the oanda library. List of modules of mass modules to declare. Okay, but we're not doing that. We're doing gen definition. We're working on this so we can do a single row. Let's do gen single row. We'll do gen triple row, 10 some rows, which will be an enum. Gen rows, and we'll pass the row. I guess we're going to pass the name as well. Name, docstring. Go to gen single row and generates an enum from a table of table from an HTML table that has more than one row. Within gen rows. Would you guys prefer if I just kept silent and then you can just enjoy the music and, I don't know, look at the code? I guess I'll get the same. If there's anyone even listening. Place. I'm just going to return token string. Token stream. So we're going to go. Okay, we need to get turn the rows into, so the rows are like, if we go JLS, search for Monday, this is in weekly alignment, the rows are going to be value description, and that's basically a value and a docstring, and I'm assuming that the type's going to be string. I guess that's it. Okay, so we turn the rows into rows.iter .map row match row. If it's anything other than, can we get a auto completion, please? I can't. Okay, fine. Auto completion, please. Thank you. Okay. If it's anything other than value description, we got to throw an error. So we just got to go in here. Fail. Unexpected row type in multi-row table. It's going to be really hard to figure out these error messages. So anything other than value description, then we're just literally going to split it up into OK value description. It's just going to give us a pair of ampersand stras collect, and then we've got to collect it into a result of vec and stra and stra. So value is the field name and description is the docstring. I guess I should write that somewhere. then we could just drop out straight away if it fails. And then we can go let, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it field name docstring. And then put a little double, nice and descriptive. Or we could make a little struct here. We'll call it, I don't know, processed row, entry. Nah, we're getting too complicated. Nah, dual entry, yeah, why not? I'll probably thank myself afterwards. Of course, now we've got to handle lifetimes, but maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Field name docstring. So then that can be it's enum entry. What do you call the entries now? Then we can render the enum, which will be okay quote, and we just copy what we did up there. That should be struct docstring. Okay, so we've got to turn the struct docstring, which will become actually enum docstring. And we're just gonna call that pretty. Where's the pretty function? Pretty. So that can go here. Enum docstring. That goes there. Then this will become enum, and it will not have these, not have those brackets, but these match. Change that to that. No. Okay, just change that one, and then change that one, and that's not going to do anything. It's going to have the enums in here. Okay, so we've got to. Now I've overthought it. No, I think the entry just needs to actually become a quote. So we're just going to not map again. We're already doing. Okay, we get rid of that. Blah. So this is going to become a vec or token string anyway. Token stream. And we're going to say field name string, and we want to say quote. We've got to turn the field name into a identifier. What am I doing? Undo. So where's my ident? I'll just copy that. Bam. Coding is like 20% copying and pasting. Select name and change it to, I'll literally change field name. So field name becomes an ident. The other thing becomes a docstring, which is literally that, so that's easy to do. Bop. Docstring becomes pretty docstring. Now it's returning error if it fails. That's also returning. Wait, that's returning an error, and this is returning an error. Maybe we should just put all that code right in here. Rather than there, and then there'll just be one error return. I don't need that anymore. So we've got the field name, got docstring, and we're just going to return quote. We're putting in OK, and it's a code block inside of OK. I guess that's fine, whatever. And we go quote, like that, and we say hash field. now, hash, docstrings like that, and value string, and that's it, done. And it's going to have a comma, and this will generate an enum entry, done. And we got row, but we should have rows here, and it should be what do you call it, the slice. Pretty docstring arguments function incorrect, because it takes ampersand string and we've passed it a nothing. I'm going to pass it a description, value description, and field name becomes a value, and description is not spelled like that, and yep, spelled like that. And bail for some reason is not good. Why not? Can't find macro bail. Import it. Not model bail. No. Error stack bail. I want my bail. Crate bail. Could not find bail in the crate root, but I wrote it. It should be there. Not model lib. Writer lib. Did I put bail in the wrong place? Did I put it in the model crate rather than the? I think I did. Undo, not supposed to be there. VG end delete. I put it in the wrong lib. Writer lib. Now work. Yay. Happy day. Needs a comma, that's easy to fix. Kind of find value struct name because it's enum name. It's not enum name. What is it? Gen rows, it is name. Did I not bring it into an ident? Okay, I've got to bring it into an ident. Beep. We'll call it enum name. And I'll call that enum name as well. Save, rename. Enum name, it should rename the argument. That's handy. Handy dandy. So we've got enum name. Docstring is enum docstring, and all the enum entries, we'll call it enum entries. Rename enum entries. Oh, variance is the better name, isn't it? Entries, enum variance. Right, and then we'll write a test for it down here. Paste. Single becomes rows. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the actual code. I want to go here. So maybe it should be called gen enum or rows to enum. There's better naming. And what we can do is steal that and let input equals r hash. We can just grab the YAML and then we can, oh, it's actually JSON, fancy. We can probably make this a lot. Okay, we'll just go Mac. Let's use the power of multi-select. Match inner this, select that, and go join, join, join. Fancy. And we can move all that across to make it look pretty. And then we're gonna generate an enum from that. So we've got to go let input, which will be a vec of row equals Saturday JSON from string input guess this is easier than, I don't know, whatever. Dot. What is the word I want to say? Annotate passing JSON. Sorry, JSON's not in the crate, perhaps. We just want to add it as, go to writer. Do we want to add it as a dev dependency, or do we want to just hard code the stuff? We'll just hard code it. Okay. And it becomes let input equals spec, and that goes away, and that goes away, and that goes there. And we just got to change that into match inner that, select comma, no, okay, select that. It's going to become row, and what are the fields of row? I don't know. I'm going to say, each row is a variant, row value description, and then it has a value, which is that, and a description, which is that. And then we've got to go select we don't want all of them. Select value, select value that. We just got to go for that dot toString, and same again there. And it reformatted it, but okay, whatever. And this has all got the wrong, just a Sunday has the wrong toString. Everything else is fancy dancy. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore, because we're going to say tokens equals gen rows, and we're going to take input.addSlice. And what else does it take? Does it take an enum? I think it takes the enum name, so we just change enum. Done. And it's going to generate the code. I'm going to print the code, and it's going to contain super enum. And let's give it a test. Woo. Test gen rows. I got test gen rows, errors. And the rows errors aren't here. Must be in gen definition. Cannot find gen rows in the scope. We'll import it. Okay, qualify as, and then replace qualified with use. Okay. Okay, it's already a slice, so we're fine. Okay. Happy dappy. Test. Arg is still repeating at this depth. That's fine. I want it to repeat at this depth. Let me ask the robot how to do that. Go there. How do I render the repeating arg? How do I guess it's render the repeating arg in macro rules. I could just also check. Yay. I just have to karma, man. YouTube link not there. Oh dude, I put the YouTube link there. It's here. Code link. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Thanks, bro. Sorry. Here it is. Man, I was live streaming for no reason. Beep, beep, Bob, copy. And I'm pretty gonna finish now. Reply. I'll add it in here. I don't even know how to edit this. Can you edit it? I don't see an edit button anywhere. YouTube, it is there. YouTube link. Oh, maybe I didn't put the HTTPS. Save. Oh, I gotta get rid of the. Whoa, that's me. That is working. Okay. Cool. Back to coding. I forgot what I was doing. I was talking to the robot and finding out how do I do the repeat of the yeah, there it is. Like that. Okay. Thank you, robot. Go to lib. Write a lib. Go to the bottom. So it says to do that. Dollar. Also, just need to put a dollar at the front of the brackets instead of inside the brackets, like that. Now we're happy. Attempted to repeat an expression containing no syntax. Variables meshed as repeating at this depth. You know what? I'm going to go to the Rust by example book and search for macro rules, and it'll have it. If anyone knows the answer, please tell me. Hey, what happened to my music? Yeah, music is still going, man. I even forgot that the music was playing. Macro rules, and then it's gonna say, don't repeat yourself. There we are. And there'll be something about a star in here. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. Variadics. There you go, it's got a plus, and then how does it use it? Dollar, la la la, comma, plus. Ah, and I've got to put comma, comma, star. And now it'll work. Nope. Do I have to put eval in there? I don't think I have to put eval in there. It should be dollar, the thing. Oh, it's got $2. Okay. The more dollars, the better. Now work. It doesn't have error. It's going to be. Failed to resolve module error. Didn't I? It's like pub mod error. It's right there. Oh, it's because the scope where you call the macro from macros call create for further information. This I don't want to reference the macro call create. I've got to use dollar create. Thank you. Helpful error message. Now everyone's happy. Do my test. Cannot render. Unexpected end of input. Expected identifier. Oh, I've got to put a little colon at the end maybe. That's the test. I want the actual function docstring. This expression creates a reference which is immediately dereferenced. Okay, change this to just that. Thanks. Unused variable enum variance. I'm not rendering that somewhere. Oh. Why am I doing docstring twice? I meant to put enum variance here. Enum variance. Thank you, warnings. You know what I should do? I bet you I need to put a comma here and get rid of the comma there. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Okay, immediate reference is immediately destroyed, so get rid of that. Okay, that's all good. Run my test. Not yet. An error occurred or formatting expected comma. Okay, so maybe I'll get rid of the comma there and put the comma here and run. Expected comma. Can we determine from this where the comma was expected? I mean, I got this far. I could put this at the end, spacing alone. Sim Sunday. So token stream doc equals and then literal Sunday. So is the error coming from when we try to turn it into a string? An error occurred before my source code. Expected comma. It's lib 30. It's not giving me an actual useful traceback. I would like a useful traceback, please, not a crappy traceback. Okay, fine, go Rust. Oh, is it called traceback? I don't know. Equals 1. The error message should really be giving it the Rust error stack lib library should giving us. Okay, it gives us 0 tracebacks. We're stuck with what we got. Lib 30, and it's a general error. I want a traceback. Rah. I'll just put an annotation here. Not annotate. What is it called? Attach printable. Encoding to. Turning tokens into a string. I already did that though. That's why it's happening, is because it's coming out here and formatting code to string, and I've got that here, an error occurred while formatting the source code. No, it's not there. I should converting, we should say it. And attach lazy, if we go there, you will see it has track caller, which gives us the error message. I guess that's what it is. I'm getting lib 30, which is that. But I need a track caller for before, which I guess is going to be here. Turning tokens into a string. I mean, that's going to give us at least oh no, that's not the question mark operator value. Use the question mark. I'm doing the question mark operator. Attach printer, we've got to import result extension. So at least now I'll get 2 tracebacks. I've got a lib 30. I've got turning tokens into a string, which did not give me a traceback. Come on, bro. It just gave me a little error message. Okay, let's look at the docs, because I want a traceback. Oh, I mean, I know where it is now, but it's the principle of the thing. Why is it not going? Okay, maximize docs.rs. Error stack. Traceback. Cool stack. Okay, that's literally the name of the back of the thing. What I would like, okay, you know what I'll do is I'll just add my own error library. I will, because I've got my own inter report here, right, which is just for other errors, but I'll add one in here. FN record traceback. I'll just put traceback, and it just returns itself. It just returns T. It does nothing else. I'm going to put a track caller in there, and that's it. just remember that this is part of the traceback. Useful when, I don't know, I don't even know if it's going to do anything. Yank. I'll put track caller, and it's just going to return ourselves. And we don't even need self. Result TE, so we've got to return result T. It's going to work, except it's going to say it doesn't match the with that. Come on, generic powers work. We're taking enter report for any type T, and then we're saying enter report for T for a standard result. You know what? I don't even need that. I can just stick it. I can just. Okay, this becomes T again. We don't need to put it in this implementation. We can, no, we do, because this implementation will need to have it as well. What can I do here? I'll just do that. This where statement as well. There is no attached printable. Okay, am I getting digressing? I pretty much am. And you need F and D here. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just copying and pasting old code. Takes two. Implementation has stricter requirements. We're not having F. We don't need F. We just need D. So we can just, it's saying it's too much. We don't even need D. Okay, man, come on brain, work. So it's gonna turn it into, but it's not what I want, because the result that I have that I want to add a traceback on is already the time. Okay, so I just wasted all that time. Undo. Okay, row is here. Okay, anyway, we're trying to generate code. We're getting an error. We know where it's coming from, even though we're not getting a traceback. We can get rid of that attach printable, which is useless. Is when it creates into a string. So that this token tree is good as a token tree, but it's not good as a string. So what have we got? We've got some punctuation and some bytes, and then we've got a group, which is a bracket. Maybe the punctuation and the bytes is not, it's not decoding the enum name. Maybe I need to put that there. should be pub enum. Unused import, we'll get rid of it. Same thing, so it's expected a comma. Okay, if we get rid of the enum variance, does that make it work? And then it says, no, you got expected one or blah blah blah. I'll comment that out and I'll put in here A, B, doesn't like that. Expected one of fn extern use static constant say enum. So got, okay, so it's the enum name itself that doesn't like. Okay, get rid of docs. Okay, the enum name, we'll just hard code it. My enum, and then it'll be happy. Expected comma, and then we'll get that, and we'll go A, B. Okay, so that's is my maybe that's not supposed to be there. Okay, we'll just try it without that. I'm just trying random stuff now. Okay, and then we'll copy that, comment that out, and we'll just write an enum. Pub enum animal cat dog. Are you happy with that? It works, but it's still because super enum isn't there, so it can't generate an enum. Okay, let's go a step further and put those things inside it, the enum variance. Okay, so that's one source of errors, right? So let's just put a comma here because it said expected comma. Okay, let's look at the enum variant itself. We're generating docstring and we're generating a field and a string. So what if we get rid of the docstring there? Does it work? Nope, still needs a comma. What if we get rid of the field name and we just call it, we're gonna have to have a field name string. Maybe that colons is what it doesn't like. I mean, let's have a look. Sim string car this sim Wednesday sim car string car comma, so that's perfect. Let's look at the top. Monday colon string comma Tuesday, so that's all beautiful. And then the last one string comma, so it's all beautiful, man. Why doesn't it like it? Grrr. And if I put hard code it to cat, oh, it's because I'm giving it a type. That's why my stupid brain, it doesn't need a type. It just needs nothing. It needs no type. Gar. Okay, is it looking better now? Sunday, Saturday, yep, cool. So now we can put the actual enum name back in. The actual doc string. This is the fine enum. Yay, we can now generate enums. Anything else? Why are there other things? Test gen definition, that's failed. Okay, we're getting there anyway. That'll do. Git status, git diff. I should git commit that dm can now turn HTML rows into enums. Bam. If I have followers, I'll keep going, and if I don't, I will. Oh, there's one guy showing it. Yay, I will continue. Thank you, one guy, for watching. Oh, now he's gone. Thank you everyone that watched.